saying, take a breath, yoga for the respiratory system. So I just thought I'd talk about prana for just a minute. Won't get too technical, but basically, so you might have heard of pranayama, which is the breath work exercises. So prana is energy or vitality or life force. There's lots of different words that can be used for it. It's the Sanskrit word which is the same as chi in obviously different like the Chinese practice and various different Asian cultures. But basically, the concept is that there's a few different sources of prana, um, but the breath is considered to be the vehicle of prana, and so that's why in yogic practices breath work is so important. And so essentially, to be fair, this could have been the first class because obviously the respiratory system is so important, and without prana, without the life force, without oxygen, there is no life at all. And in the yogic tradition, actually, the relationship with prana is probably the most important thing in terms of what's going on with long COVID or a fatigue type illness. But anyway, I'm not going to get too technical into it. But pranayama, the breath work, is the expansion of this life force, expansion of the energy. So I'll try and sneak in a couple of pranayama practices today. One at the beginning, one at the end. So I'll do that. And like I was just saying before the recording, so we're going to be doing more sitting and more on hands and knees positions today. So it's going to feel maybe a little bit more than in the previous two sessions. So like I always say, listen to your body, just keep listening to your body and don't never push yourself further than you feel comfortable doing today. And I'll definitely say when we go into something that's a little bit harder that you feel free to rest instead. Okay, so that's all done. Oh, and also if you have a block for this practice or block-like item, we'll be using that for the said more advanced pose. But if you'd like to get comfortable, you can either be lying down or you can be sitting. If you feel happy to sit, we are going to be doing some sitting exercises to get started. So if you feel like maybe 15 minutes of sitting is too much right now, then definitely go lie down to begin. But get comfortable with whether you're deciding to sit or deciding to lie down. Let's arrive in this space today, taking a read of how you're feeling, what you've brought into the class. And if it's comfortable to do so, feel free to gently let your eyes close and we'll focus more on the internal for a moment. So noticing any sensations in your body, noticing the sounds of your body. Can you hear your breath? And bring attention to the breath, noticing how it feels, whether it feels easy and light, or whether there's any tension or constriction. Just notice what's happening within yourself today. And we're going to start off with working on improving your breath function. And so obviously COVID is known to cause a lot of breath dysfunction. And even 2 or even 3 years into long COVID, you might have some dysfunctional breathing happening. So we'll see if we can just kind of take a read on that. And if you do notice that any of these exercises is harder, that's fine. Try not to be concerned. You know, knowledge is power, and if you find out that a particular area is a little trickier for you, then you know that's something that you can practice and gradually improve. I, for one, had terrible dysfunctional breathing from COVID, and it took me a while, but I got back to functional breathing. Anyway, I digress. So we'll put one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. So we'll focus in on the belly breathing. So we'll see if we can make the belly hand move. So inhale into the belly. And see if while you do that, see if you can keep the chest hand still. Just observing the belly hand raising up and coming back down. Gently inhaling, belly expands. And also, it's just important to fully exhale. So exhale all of the air, navel comes towards spine. So have a few rounds of this to begin with. You can go as deep or as slow as you feel comfortable with. I'm not going to prescribe a certain rhythm. But if you are finding that your belly breathing is perfectly straightforward just as it is, then you might wish to extend the out breath, the exhale, to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. If you're finding that the chest hand is moving, it might be moving just a tiny bit amount, or it might be moving a lot. If it is, that's fine. It just shows that you're breathing a little bit high in your chest, and that's something that can be improved with these exercises over time. So if that's you, then you can practice doing this lying down, and then when your hand is still on the chest lying down, then you can progress to sitting, and then standing, doing it, and then walking, doing it. It'll gradually improve. All right. So now take the chest hand and just bring it round the back, so by the lower back area. So now we're going to see if we can inhale into the front and into the back hand at the same time. So with the back hand, the move is a subtle movement. Don't expect yourself to be able to push very far at the back. Just see if you can, in fact, inflate the lungs at the front and at the back, both. Just going to explore this with curiosity, and if you're finding that it is a little tricky to breathe into the back of your lungs, and that's something else to be aware of that can be improved with time. And you might find that the more we practice today, the easier this becomes. Obviously, the actual lung anatomy, the lungs are quite big, and they are in the sides and in the back. So yes, we're trying to improve the lung capacity to get air into the whole lung area. Okay, and now take both hands and we'll put it around the rib cage with your fingers at the front and thumbs at the back, just around the lower rib cage. And so this time with the breathing, we're going to see if we can breathe into the sides, to see if we can make the hands on the sides move a little bit if you inhale. Inhaling into the sides, exhaling and the hands moving a little bit. And if you feel a little uncomfortable, just acknowledge that. And I know from my own experience with costochondritis that this was uncomfortable with long COVID. And again, if you do a little bit regularly, then it can improve. We won't do too many rounds of this. Okay, last one. Relax your hands down by your sides. Just take a read, returning back to a regular breathing pattern. Just notice if your body's feeling any different. You might feel a little bit lightheaded, because if you oxygenate your blood more than you usually do with like deeper breathing, then that can do that. But it should pass. But feel free to lie down for a moment if that's how you're feeling. Otherwise, gently open your eyes and come up to sitting if you're lying down, and we'll get started. Okay, so we'll start by rolling the head, stretching the neck. Let your head fall towards the left shoulder. Just hold it there, feeling a nice stretch on the side of your neck. And then gently let it roll, gently with control, down to your chest. And over gently to the other side. Again, you can hold it there, making sure shoulders are away, like shoulders are down. And then you can go back and forth a few times. No rush. Noticing any niggly bits that might be there. Okay, now back to center. And we're going to jump right to the legs as well. So if you're in a cross-leg position, you can release one knee, and we're going to guide the knee out to the side, back to center. Do a couple of these, bring a little bit of warmth and movement into the hip joint. And then if you wish, you can make it more of a circle with the knee. And feel free to lean back against something if it's a little hard to do. And reverse the direction. Lovely. And then plant. Actually, put the knee down, and we'll change legs and do the other side. So hand on the knee, and again you can guide the hip gently open and close. Just kind of ease into this gently. Definitely don't push or strain yourself. Go with what your body feels comfortable doing. So some circles of the knee, guiding the hip through its range of motion. If you're anything like me with long COVID, you have some joint pains and niggles and things, and so I feel like everyone's got one or two joints that's worse. And so if the hip's worse for you, then just take care. Okay, reverse direction. I promise you that regular range of movement exercises are kind of really helpful for this as well, which is why I always do it. Okay, and we'll just stretch the knees, stretch the legs out in front, and then bend the knees in. Do this a few times, just bring a bit of warmth into your knee joints. It's the knees that were my Achilles heel. Still are a tiny bit. And then we can roll, do some ankle rolls. One side and the other side. That's good. All right, let's move this block. Okie dokie. So do some rolls with the wrists as well. And then for the upper body, change direction. For the upper body, we're going to do circle of joys for warming up for the upper body. So we're going to clasp our fingers, interlink our fingers in front. And just have a nice stretch there, opening the shoulder blades. Okay, the next inhale, and lift up, looking upwards. On exhale, release your hands down. And inhale, interlink your hands behind, really lovely opening your chest. And then exhale and come back round to center. We'll just do a few of these and you go in your own time. Just inhale up, exhale down, inhale, chest opens, exhale, back to the beginning. I love Circle of Joy, and it's just such a lovely, slightly more dynamic way to warm up your shoulders, your neck, and everything. Do one more. Stretch. Lovely. By the way, the conventional way of doing this is standing, but obviously I don't do any standing in these classes, but that's the way we traditionally do it. Okay then, and then we're going to reach one side and reach the hands overhead. Nice side body stretch. Keep breathing. So throughout today's practice, focus on your breath as much as you can. It's believed in yoga, change sides. It's believed in yoga that the more you focus on the energy of the breath, the more energy you bring to yourself, which is why I'm constantly telling you to come back to the breath. Say in yoga that with every breath you begin anew, which is a nice way to look at it. You know, things get really tough. Just come back to your breath, focus on your breath, and you can start afresh, start anew. Getting philosophical. So you can do the cat-cow seated if you feel a bit low in spoons today. But if you feel okay, we're going to go to traditional cat-cow on hands and knees. So you can still do it seated with your hands on your knees. Otherwise, meet me in tabletop position. And check that your alignment is good, that your wrists should be directly below your shoulders and your knees should be directly below your hips, so the hips distance apart. Start with a nice straight back to begin. And then on the next inhale, we're going to look upwards, tipping our chest forwards, and bum comes, draws around. And exhale, tailbone down, navel draws in, chin to chest. Just go in your own time. And obviously, if things feel not brilliant, then just ease into this, no forcing. Cat-cow is wonderful for many things. But in thinking about today's focus, it is lovely for the respiratory system and for stretching out all of your ribs. And obviously the ribs are connected to the spine, so if you have any vertebra issues, then obviously trying to ease your spine will also help the ribs and the breathing function. It's all connected. And by the way, if you do have costochondritis, I have a YouTube video directly on the costochondritis, my YouTube channel. Fun fact. Okay, and then the next time that you're in cow, so that your chin is to chest, tailbone down, navel draws in, stay there, but keep breathing, obviously. And we're going to move the hands over towards the left side of the mat. So come into, it's a kind of interesting rib stretch. So if this feels like too much, feel free to not do quite so much. But basically we're keeping our spine curved and keep breathing. We're having a lovely stretch through the right rib cage in particular. And then staying with that position of the spine curved, we're going to bring hands back to center and then walk hands over towards the right side too. So chin to chest, tailbone is going towards downwards. Navel draws in. Lovely stretch on your left side body. That's really good. All right. So if you wish to, you can go back into child's pose. If you're feeling generally okay, then we float forwards onto our tummies. And you can either rest for a moment with your forehead down on hands, or you can meet me in a little mini cobra pose. So it's a little bit further down than a sphinx. So your elbows are out to the sides a bit more. But we're having a tiny little back bend. See how that feels. You can also look from side to side if you wish. Easing into back bends today. And then come down and we'll have a little rest. So you can stack your hands one on top of each other, palm facing down, and then rest your forehead against those hands. Checking in with how you're feeling, if your heart rate has increased. Maybe lengthen your exhale a couple of times and see if you can calm it down slightly. And feel free to rest if that's what your body is telling you. If you'd like to try a slightly deeper back bend, we're going to plant the fingertips on the sides of the mat and then ease up gently. And you don't need to go very fast, just ease to where you feel comfortable. The pelvic bone is grounded down and the tops of the feet are grounded down. This is a seal pose. And so obviously we're opening the chest, stretching the back muscles, and gently relax back down. That's really good. Obviously, in your own time, you can do that one more time, but I don't want to push the boat too far in this session. Breathing the belly into the mat or bed, whatever you're working with today. Coming back to the sensation of prana. Okay, I'm going to rock back upwards slightly. Coming back onto hands and knees is probably easiest. And then we're going to put the elbows down, hands facing upwards. And we're going to drop the forehead to the mat, coming into our puppy dog pose, which is the chronic illness friendly downward facing dog that I prefer. It's a lot more gentle on the body, but I promise it does a lot of the same things. So here, just really notice the front of your body opening and the back body gently coming to a slight back bend. And if you wish to challenge yourself, you can lift your hands up so you're on your tips of your fingers to deepen that shoulder stretch. Otherwise, feel free to just keep your elbows grounded.
Seeing if you can find a little rest in this pose. I know it might not feel quite as restful. Let's see if also if your body is telling you that this is enough, you can always go back into child's pose or lie completely flat anytime you need. Okay, so after here, there's a little bit of a crossroads where you can either come down into child's pose, so bum towards the heels and relax down, or if you'd like to progress into a little bit more interesting things, then come back to tabletop position. And we're going to lift the left leg out behind, have a nice stretch, stretching the foot away, and then bring the foot through between the hands, so into a kind of a smaller knee planted lunge. The full lunge position is to flex your foot and lift your knee up, but let's just stay with knee planted. It's a little bit gentler. So just see how this is feeling for you. You can come onto your tippy fingertips and look forwards, lifting your heart a little bit. I want to come into a twist, so planting your right hand firmly down next to your left foot. On the next inhale, to see if you can bring that left hand up. It's okay if you can't bring it quite as far as I have. Just having a lovely opening sensation through the chest, and it's a little bit of a balancing pose too. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Great. Okay, and then floating the hand back down and coming back to all fours. And feel free to float down to child's pose. In fact, let's all just come down to child's pose for a moment. Let's check out how things are doing. If all is well and you're ready, you can come back up to hands and knees, and we'll do the other side. So engaging the core, we're going to lift the right leg up behind us. Nice stretch all the way down the spine, down the leg to the foot. And then see if you can bring the foot all the way through, plant it between your hands. Like I said, if you're watching the recording at a later point and wish to flex the foot and come into more of a balance, straightening the leg, you can do, but I'm going to keep it gentle today. So planting the left hand, opening through the chest, going to, on the next inhale, I'm going to gently lift the right hand up, arms coming right up into a lovely opening of the chest, gentle twist. Keep breathing. You're doing great. Okay, then gently bring the hand back. And let's all again return back to child's pose. Heels to buttock and putting the forehead down on the mat. Option to have your hands overhead or bring your arms behind, down by the sides. Let yourself go floppy as you have a rest. Take a moment here. And again, listen to your body, please. If this has been enough today, you can stay here, or you can lie on your back. And we are going to progress to lying on the back in a moment after the camel pose. But yeah, feel free to stay here as long as you need. If you'd like to come into the stronger back bend, and gently come up into kneeling. And firstly, I'll show you what we're doing. I'll give you a demonstration. So a good way to do this as well is to actually have yourself against a wall, because we need to. So we're coming up like this, and it's good to keep your hips forwards, because it's a tendency to kind of drift back, and that's not good. So that's just something to know. I know you might not be against a wall now, but just to say, that's a nice way of doing it to ease in. So we're going to put a block or block-like item behind you, or you could have a chair behind you that you can grip. Okay. And we're going to stabilize. The knees are stable, planting the backs of the feet firmly down, nice firm foundation. And like I said, hips are forward. And we'll start off by actually have the hands on hips and taking a breath in, just gently see if you can tilt gently, slowly, like so. Keeping your hips forward, and see if you can reach onto the support, and then we'll gently ease up and out of it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I don't want anyone to push themselves. You can, of course, practice on the recording another time. And if you'd like to give it a go, we're going to have one, maybe two attempts of this. So come onto kneeling and come up, and just check that your hips are directly above your knees, your feet are flat, nice firm foundation. Flat, and then put your hands on your hips. It's also helpful to have hands on hips because you can feel the drift as well. But we're trying to engage that core and opening the chest. And as you open the chest, naturally your head will slowly go backwards. And just see if you can ease into a gentle back bend. No forcing. Keep engaging that core. The core will support you. Okay, for the first time, that'll be enough. And just float up. And if you want to take a breather, come into child's pose. With your head facing down. Okay, so I'll just take a quick breather. And you can also decide if you'd like to try again, maybe slightly deeper, or if that's enough for today. So if you're feeling good and you want to try again, reach me back up here. So basically we'll do it again, checking that your firm foundation. Your hips are forward, hands on hips. And again, just gently engaging the core muscles, and chest is open. As you ease the chest open, your head will slowly go backwards a little bit, like you're looking towards your ceiling. Keeping the hips forward, abs engaged. And if you feel like you can, see if you can reach your chair or block-like item. It might just be with your tippy fingers. I definitely don't feel like I have the most flexible back ever at the moment. Just see if you can stay here. A couple more breaths. And then hands back onto hips and very gently come back up. Ooh. Okay, let's immediately go into the counter pose. Coming down into child's pose. You can, in child's pose, as a counter pose, you can press your forehead gently into the mat. It helps to kind of realign things. Well done if you tried that. No, it's a little bit more challenging than we tend to do in yoga for long COVID, but It's also really lovely. The camel pose is, it helps to increase lung capacity, and it also increases the elasticity of the lung tissue, and of course it's helping your spine and lots of really good things. So it's strengthening your core, strengthening your back muscles. There's lots of reasons why I wanted to do it today. That's the last back bend of today's practice. Kind of eased towards it gradually. And when you're ready, you can slowly make your way to lying down on your back. Take your time, no rush. It's all good. Sneak in one more twist. But just let yourself stabilize, noticing how you're feeling. If you're ready, we're going to bend the right knee, and then you can, with your left hand, you can guide your right knee over towards the left. That's good. And then to deepen the stretch, you can put your arms into a T shape, and then look towards your right hand. If you wish to deepen this twist, you can also tuck the right lower leg and foot underneath the left knee into more of the eagle legs. Let's enjoy this. One more twist. So you settle down. And gently bring your leg back up and straighten the leg down and slowly bend the left knee. Again, you can guide your left knee with your right hand, twist over so that your knee is headed towards the floor on the left side. Feel free to use your block or a pillow or anything to support that if you need. And then you can bring your hands out into a T. You can look towards your left hand. If you want to tuck the top leg under the bottom leg into the eagle twist for deeper sensation, you can do that if you wish. Keep breathing. Checking that the left shoulder blade is still planted on the ground. Ease off a little bit if it's not. Noticing if there's any tension in your body, and so you can just ease that, even just 1%, more relaxed, more at ease, softening. And you can gently ease back out of that. Let's bring both knees in for a lovely self-hug. You can bring your forehead up towards your knee momentarily if you wish, and put your head back down. Give yourself a lovely hug, acknowledging that you came today, that your body did this, that your body is doing everything it can for you. Thank you. And exhale, let the legs gently fall to the ground, and then the hands fall out the sides. And make any adjustments you need to get comfortable. You can tuck something under your pillow underneath your knees for some lower back support if you wish. You can grab a blanket. Do anything you wish to get comfortable before we settle in. Noticing all the points of contact with the ground, back of your head, your shoulder blades, back of your arms, back of your hands, hips and pelvis, your glutes, calf muscles, and your heels of your feet, all connected with the ground. Turning back to the breath for a moment to do the Durga breathing, the 3-part breath. Starting off with breathing into your belly again, like we started today's practice. It's letting your belly inflate like a balloon, rising, and then exhaling, falling. And see if you can get all the air out. Every exhale. It's a few rounds like that. See if you can imagine with every in-breath, you're sucking energy, sucking prana into your lungs. That's then flowing out to all of your body. So you can really imagine that. As you exhale, you're releasing the dark energy, the things that you don't need, out of the body. It draws out, cleansing. So the next inhale, we're going to inhale through the belly. And when the belly's full, see if you can inhale into the chest as well. So we're really filling the lungs to capacity. And then exhale, see if you can release out of your chest first, and then the belly second. So it's like a wave of breath. So inhale again, belly inflates first, chest second. Exhale, chest goes down first and belly goes down second. Wave of prana. So more like this. Working on your intake of oxygen and also your lung capacity. It's good. No need to force. Let it flow with your own breath. Okay, for the next inhale, we're inhaling into our belly. Let's full and inhale into our chest until it's full. When the chest is full, see if you can sip just one more little bit of air and hold it for a moment. And then exhale through the chest and exhale through the belly. Second. Okay, do 2 more like that. Wave air filling up the whole chest, and then a bit more. Hold it. And as you hold it, see if you can release any tension. You're not tensing. And then gently exhale. The chest first, belly second. We'll do one more. Floating the belly first, chest second, and then touch more. Just hold it for a moment, easing any tension, and then exhaling through the chest. Let the chest exhale first, the belly second. Brilliant. Now just return back to your natural breath. For the relaxation, we're going to imagine there's a wave of energy, of healing light. Okay. Imagine that there's a ball of light above your head, lovely healing light. Can be any colour that you wish it to be, whatever comes to mind. Imagine it's just touching the top of your head. As it touches the top of your head, it just eases any tension. Very relaxing. It feels nice and warming and cozy. It gently comes in through your head, easing any tension, releasing, letting everything go. It's coming down into your throat, into your neck. Lovely and warm and loving, healing energy. It's good. As it comes in, it's just very calming and very relaxing. Eases down into your chest space. Lovely, warm, healing prana, healing energy. It drifts down your arms, gradually seeping in your hands and your fingers. So to breathe. Slowly healing, warming energy floats down your chest, down to your belly, down your back, and your whole torso. Lovely, relaxing, softening, healing energy. That's good. As this energy moves through your body, you might find that discomforts might ease. Let the energy do the work to ease anything that's bothering you. As it comes in down into the pelvis, down into the hips, softly relaxing, nourishing. Slowly goes into your buttocks and then down into your thighs. Lovely wave of colour, healing light goes into your knees, and down your lower legs, softening and relaxing every point of contact into your ankles, into your feet, into your toes, letting it in. It's good. Imagine your whole body is now glowing with this lovely energy, loving, healing light. With every breath you take, it can glow a little bit brighter. Easing anything that needs easing. Breath, it can expand bigger. Maybe it's expanding beyond the shape of your body, making like a cushion, cloud of healing light all around your body. Every breath it's glowing stronger, brighter. It's more and more softening and easing, relaxing you. It's good. Every breath is bringing more and more energy, healing light into your body. With the out breath, this light is drawing anything that needs to go out, breathing energy in, releasing anything that doesn't serve you out. It's good. And slowly let that sensation, that image float away. You can imagine it draining out of your feet back into the ground as you bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. Rotate your ankles and wrists. Maybe take a nice stretch. Bending the knees and gently roll over onto your side. Taking a couple of moments here, taking a deep breath in and breathing out slowly through your mouth. For every breath, begin anew. So you can push yourself slowly back up to seated. Keep your eyes closed if you wish. Enjoying the nice calm feeling. Hands together in prayer position. Gently bend your head towards your heart space, the center of knowledge and wisdom and love. Sleep. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing today, whether you're practicing live with me now or on the recording. It's great to have you here.